Hello, good morning, and welcome to the best football show. You can find this football show, this daily football show, right on your wherever you get your podcast from. This is a free Odyssey app. Go download it, like it, subscribe to it. You can find me all over the internet and all the social platforms. Posted a bunch of videos already this morning from last night's Thursday night football game. So let's get to it. Let's get to Week 10 and what we saw last night in Baltimore, because it was a reincarnation of what we saw basically 5 weeks ago in Cincinnati, where Baltimore won 41-38 in overtime. And last night, Cincinnati throws a touchdown pass to Jamar Chase in the back of the end zone, his 11th catch of the night, his third touchdown catch of the night. And Cincinnati immediately, without hesitation, went for two. So Baltimore, whose pass defense has been wretched all year long, decides in this 2-by-2 set that Cincinnati puts out there, where they have Tanner Hudson in one slot and they have Mike Gesicki in the other slot, and then they have the two wide receivers, Jamar Chase to the left and they have Yossi to the right. Baltimore decides to double both slot tight ends, and Jamar Chase decides to go to Tanner Hudson. He's got to make a quick decision. It's an incompletion, and Baltimore hangs on to win 35-34. So that decision, we saw that same type decision that Tampa could have made in Tampa last week on Monday night, and it didn't work out well for Tampa. Kansas City got the coin toss. They won it, went down the field 11 plays, and Kareem Hunt scored a 1-yard plunge to win it 30-24. So here's the thing about the 2-point to go for the win. It has been said, and many teams have done it, you're on the road, your defense is tired. Lamar seems unstoppable, especially in the fourth quarter. Do you really want to go out there and lose the coin toss and give Baltimore the ball, presumably at the 30, and put the ball in Lamar's hands and try to stop him? Or do you go for two with Joe Burrow? So if you're going to go for two, just go to Jamar. They had no idea how to cover him. It's unbelievable how Baltimore treats Jamar Chase. He's just another guy. In 2 games, Jamar Chase this year against the Ravens has 21 catches for 457 yards and 5 touchdowns. So in that situation, I understand the formation. You got your tight ends in your slot, your receivers out wide, and Jamar Chase is one-on-one. I don't know. To me, the ball should go to Jamar. If you win or lose, live or die by your best, the best receiver out there, it's Jamar. So I don't know. I'm sure he's disappointed. I'm sure Joe's disappointed. Tanner Hudson, they tackled Gesicki at the goal line. All right. Joe never looked at him. He was looking at Tanner Hudson the whole way, and he makes the throw. He's double covered, but still the throw, it's just a little high. It's just one of those things where, if Cincinnati can win that game, they're 5-5. Baltimore falls to 5-4, and you go, man, they're right there in the thick of it. With Baltimore playing in Pittsburgh next week, these teams all play each other. You knock each other off. Cincinnati's right in the hunt. So it knocks them back further at 4-6. They're still in it. Joe Burrow is out of this world, and he's thrown 9 touchdown passes against the Ravens in 2 games. No interceptions. It's just remarkable, but it's just unbelievable how little. The Ravens secondary, the 70-yard touchdown pass to Jamar to kind of tie it up right there. You just wonder, what in the world are they thinking? I don't know what Marcus Williams is doing. He's a cover 2 safety. You're reading 2-1, reading Gesicki, but there's Jamar outside. I don't know, he runs right by the corner. Easy throw. All right. So anyways, it was an exciting game. Way to kick off, Week 10. Here we are, beyond the halfway point now, officially beyond the halfway point. So let's look at some of these games, because Pittsburgh, the team we're talking about, and the team that Baltimore will see next week at Acrisure Stadium, goes to Washington this week. So the 6-2 Steelers, coming off a bye, playing the 7-2 Washington Commanders. Both teams active at the trade deadline. Washington picking up Marshawn Lattimore. Couldn't have congratulated them enough. Getting a stud player, 8th-year player out of Cleveland, former defensive rookie of the year. Doesn't get a lot of interceptions. That's not his game. His game, though, is he's You want to put him on your number one receiver, like he will man you up. Now, I mean, it's what he does best. So if you got a number one receiver, you got Washington next week playing Philly. You got A.J. Brown out there. I mean, I feel pretty good if you put Marshawn on there. I'm not saying that A.J. can't beat him. He certainly can. But I feel a lot better if you play that style, because honestly, the Commanders have to blitz to get pressure on a consistent basis. It's going to leave your corners out there hanging. So it's an upgrade. And then Pittsburgh made two moves. They go and they get Preston Smith. I mean, Pittsburgh knows what an outside linebacker looks like. But fact is, you got TJ on one side. And the other side this year, both Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, who are more than capable of banging the other side, they've both been banged up and missed time. So go get Preston Smith for the stretch run, guy that can play over the tight end, the guy that can rush the passer, set the edge. And that's what they ask their outside linebackers to do, what they've always asked them to do. So those are really good. But here we go. One thing I know Washington will try to do, they're like a lot of these teams in this league. They run it more than they throw it. They're really good at it. Last week they beat the Giants, and without Brian Robinson Jr., their best running back, but Austin Eckler, Jaden, Rodriguez, they got all these guys involved. They continue to run the ball really well. I want to see that in this game. Ken Washington, who's really, you can talk about Jaden, and we will, but honestly, their ability to run the football from a variety of formations. And if you study this game closely, you're going to see formations no other team runs. That's Cliff Kingsbury. Just drawing up plays, formations, motions. But really the story in this game is going to be the two quarterbacks. Russell Wilson will make his third start. They obviously have picked up Mike Williams in addition to Preston Smith. So now you got Pickens on the outside. You've got Williams on the outside. Inside, you got Calvin Austin. You've got Van Jefferson. You've got a big, huge tight end in Freiermuth. You now have what you need for Russell Wilson to be successful. You've got receivers on the outside. You've got Najee, who's having a good season. Jaylen Warren is now healthy. And Russell Wilson, I don't know if he's going to get Zach Frazier, the rookie center out of West Virginia, back or not, but they're going to get him back at some point here. Might be this weekend. I haven't checked. But so here's these two quarterbacks. All right. Jaden Daniels, you can't get him to make a mistake. 9 games now, he's turned over 2 times. He's got 2 interceptions, no fumbles. The guy's decision-making is elite. Now he's going up against an elite defense, healthy, fortified. Highsmith back, TJ. Can Pittsburgh get him to make a mistake? When they have to throw it, can he continue to throw touch on the deep ball to Terry McLaurin or, whether it's Zach Ertz over the middle? It's got, from my standpoint, being an analyst and analyzing every one of these games, I can't wait to study this game. I'll be in Tampa. I'll get to that game, but I can't wait to study that game Sunday night, honestly, and just see Jaden and Russell, which one outperforms the other. Obviously, they don't play against each other, I know, but I think the winner of the game is which quarterback can make more great plays at the same time while being aggressive and trying to make those plays. Can you take care of the football? So it should be great. You got the rookie against the salty veteran, who's he's played 2 games now. Russell Wilson, little rust to start that first game, but he got better as the game went on, and then he was excellent in the last game. I believe it was against the Giants. Anyways, this is going to be a fun one, really good one. 2 first place team. Well, Pittsburgh's playing for first place. 2 first place teams. You got a 6-2 Steeler team, 7-2 Washington Commanders team. We don't often get these type of matchups this late into the season, so it's a great matchup. I'm going to be in Tampa. I mentioned that, and San Francisco comes to town, and by all reports, Christian McCaffrey is playing. So the offense has struggled. There's no question about it in San Francisco. They continue to run the ball very well without McCaffrey, which Jordan Mason, Isaac Guerrero, they've been outstanding. But the passing game has struggled, and a big part of it is the loss of McCaffrey. So let's see how much he plays. Is he on a pitch count? I hope to talk to him before the game down the field during his workouts. I'm sure he's going to be ultra focused. San Francisco, look, they got a huge advantage from a scheduling standpoint. Tampa, think about it. San Francisco is coming off a bye. Tampa just played Monday night on the road, an overtime loss. You get back on Tuesday morning late or early Tuesday morning after the game. It's going to be in the mid to upper 80s in this game. It's going to be hot. The heat's going to be a factor. The humidity will be a factor. But San Francisco gets 2 weeks to get ready for this game, get healthy. Tampa's on a short week. So it's a huge scheduling advantage to San Francisco. Now, Tampa's in the middle of a 3-game slide. They gave up 41 points to Baltimore. They gave up 31 points to Atlanta. And they gave up 30 in overtime to Kansas City. The defense is leaking. And I thought it was going to be a strength. Offensively, they've actually been fine without Mike Williams and without, I'm not saying fine, without Chris Godwin. But, Cade Otton has stepped up. Baker continues to play well. So, how I went back and watched the Week 11 matchup between Tampa and San Francisco last year. Baker played great. They had a chance to really narrow that lead in the fourth quarter. Jair Brown intercepted Baker in the end zone, which really killed their chances to stay in the game. But one of the matchups last year didn't happen a lot, but it did occur for 8 or 9 plays, was Nick Bosa against Tristan Wirfs. Maybe the best left tackle in football. I mean, the heir apparent to Trent Williams, not knocking Trent here, but we got 2 of the best left tackles in all of football, in Trent Williams and Tristan Wirfs. Wirfs is just an incredibly powerful, athletic man and big. And when Bosa went over him last year, it didn't make a difference. I mean, Tristan shut him down. So does Bosa just stay over against Gedeke on the right side? We'll see. We'll see if the 49ers, their 2 rookies, Green and Mustafa, have played very well. Fred Warner is a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Should be a great game in Tampa. And then finally, the red-hot Detroit Lions, who've won 6 in a row. In fact, their last loss was home to Tampa, week 2. They won 6 in a row. Their offense is rolling. They just picked up Zadarius Smith, presumably to help their pass rush, which has not been great since Aiden Hutchinson went down. It's a good move by Detroit. Zadarius is a good player. Good player, plays the game the right way. He's an every down player, plays the run really well, works at his craft. He's had 3 double-digit sack seasons in this league. I know Zadarius, he's going to fit in that culture. But let's face it, Houston commits way too many penalties on offense, especially in their offensive line. Obviously, you lose your number 1 target in Nico Collins. You lose the number 2 target in Stephon Diggs. Things are going to go backwards a little bit for CJ. And then they had lost Joe Mixon for 3 games early in the season. So they have yet to be at full strength, really, in any game this year. I don't think Nico's going to be back this week. So then you say, okay, the defense has to pick it up. Well, they've given up tied for the league lead with giving up 19 touchdown passes. It bodes well for Detroit. Now, the counter to that is if you could get Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and Danico Autry all on the field together. They did for about a half of the game against the Jets, and then Will Anderson went down. So they really haven't played with their 3 monster pass rushers. Danico was suspended the first 6 games. They really have. This is a great trio of rushers. That can help the back end of their defense if they get those 3 guys back. They've also been playing, without Azeez Al-Shire at inside linebacker for a number of weeks. So they haven't really been at full strength. But this is a big game for Houston. They don't have the same firepower that they had a year ago. And Detroit's red hot. And you just feel like Dan Campbell has his team ready to play every week. So it should be great. Can Detroit's offense continue to roll with that 1-2 punch of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs? And then, honestly, Jared Goff, if you said, okay, who's the MVP of this league right now through 9 weeks? I mean, it's Goff, it's Lamar, it's Josh. I don't know, you flip them up, throw them any way you want. Goff's completing 3/4 of his passes, high yards per attempt. You got four interceptions the whole season. He's been awesome, just awesome. So Detroit goes to Houston. Houston has to work cut out for him to stop this losing and get back on track. And Detroit wants nothing more than the number one seed. When you get to the postseason, they want it all to go through Ford Field. They might get that chance. A win in Houston might help their chances. And that's been the best football show as we sort of preview Week 10 and look back at Thursday Night Football. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Look forward to talking to you on Monday as we break down Week 10 in the National Football League.